Hello and welcome to Perspective, a show that will be bringing you an in-depth analysis of politics, business, technology and entertainment. My name is Fardowsi Hussein, and in this first episode, we'll be discussing whether or not national politics has affected institution politics. We'll also be having an expert interview with a student political aspirant. But first, our reporter Abubakar Abdullahi has prepared the following report dubbed Daystar Mashinani Politics.
For the past few years, there has been a political tension among students who vie for political leadership here at Daystar University. With the emerging trend of students vying as a group, it has made it difficult for those vying as an independent candidate.
This has brought up serious questions on whether the national politics in Kenya has majorly influenced institutional politics. We go to the corridors of Daystar University to ask students their opinions on such moves by student leaders.
I do not support it due to the fact that students don't feel as if they're united with the bodies of the school due to the segregation.
Politics is politics, whether it's in the national politics or in school politics. You need coalitions, you need to work with people.
I think people should be elected to office due to their intelligence, their integrity, and what they are going to bring to the table.
The reason why I oppose it strongly is because you find that there are people who hide in the name of a team and they end up not delivering to their people as their promises were.
The first ever coalition government in Daystar University came to power in 2016 under the leadership of Johnston Mutua. Students at Daystar University Valley Road campus have since witnessed fiasco, some of which the administration was forced to intervene on their behalf. We asked a student political analyst who is actively involved with the current politics in the school environment whether the future candidate should use the same strategy to ask for votes from their fellow students.
Yeah, you see, what we are saying is coalition brings diversity. Coalition is trying to make sure that different people are able to work. If you can work in a coalition, your own organization, that means you can work for the people.
But according to Meshak Mutende, a student political analyst and an expert on elections here at Daystar, the formation of coalitions harms more than it helps.
I would say I'm not much in support of it. Number one, let's look in terms of delivery. There's a lot of dependency. Number two, they tend to defend each other. So one member is not delivering, then the rest of the team, they gang up to defend that member. So there's little done to the students.
For Perspective News, I am Abubakar Abdullahi.
Hello and welcome to Perspective. My name is Fardowsi Hussein, and today on Face to Face we're joined by Felix Maringa, a student presidential aspirant for this year's DUSA election. Welcome, Felix.
Thank you very much.
Now let's just go directly into the questions. Don't you think it's a greedy move to come up with a coalition, especially as a student body?
It is not a greedy move. One, because you are in a position to bring people from all across the board and work with them. It also portrays the ability for you to be a good team player, because there's no man who's an island, and by working with a specific team, by working with specific individuals, then you're in a position to now bring the whole aspect of teamwork together. And so I believe it is more of exhibiting teamwork and exhibiting greed.
You've said that coming up with a group helps you work as a team.
Yes.
I joined Daystar in 2013, and I remember Moses Omondi ran as an independent candidate, and he won with large amount of numbers from students, and he got support. And yet all students worked with Moses to make sure that the student government is running well. What makes you think that as a team, then you can make a big change? Yet we've seen what Stone's team has done.
You see, in 2013 and in 2017, there's a disparity of 3.5 years.
Yes.
And in the 3.5 years, there's been a lot of changes that have been taking place. Students have become more conscious of the elections, and now that a pace was set in the previous election, and everyone else who is vying, again, came up with his own team. So it will only be wise to parade your own team as well, not just parade anybody for the sake of parading them, but parading individuals who have a following and individuals who will bring votes on the table.
Now you've talked about following.
Yes.
Stone had a very huge following during the time for campaigns, and yet he won the election. But you saw what happened after he was elected. Yes. What do you think about first that situation before I get to my question?
Them not having been able to fulfill everything they promised to the students is one thing. And what I'd say is, at the end of the day, there is something that they did. I'm not justifying that them not fulfilling their promises is good. Neither am I saying it is bad, because at the end of the day, the judgment remains with the students who voted them in.
Just to cut you short,
yes.
You talked about there's been a disparity between 2013 and 2017, or even between 2013 and 2016. But you saw that, and you said that there's a pace that was set. But you've seen what happened with the pace that was set by Stone. Do you think it's a good move to come up with a coalition? That's my question to you again.
First, it depends which individuals you're bringing on the table. Now, in his team, every individual who came to the team wanted to be a presidential candidate. Unlike what is happening in my time. I was the only one who wanted to become a presidential
What's
candidate.
happening in your time?
In my time, everyone in his team wanted to become a presidential candidate. And so, people had to compromise so that they could fit into their team.
Come again with that. You said everyone in his team wanted to become president.
Yes.
Pinpoint on who wanted to become president.
Victor Choga wanted to become president. Kevin Otieno wanted to become president.
So you're saying that sometimes when you're coming
actually
up with
the two of them, Victor Choga and Kevin Otieno wanted, and Stone as well, they all wanted to become president. And so there had to be so many meetings, again, where people had to compromise. And when they compromised, I guess when they got to office, they realized, we are no longer presidents, the people we wanted to become. And so what that did, again, it affected the kind of a delivery that the students will have received.
So what makes your team different?
What makes my team different? One, I'm the only person who wanted to become a presidential candidate. Secondly, everyone else wanted to become whatever post that they are currently vying for. Like my deputy, Sharon, wanted to become a deputy president. And so, by her wanting to become a deputy president, I took her on board. Hebrews Rono wanted to become a secretary general, again, on his own account. That I also took him on board. Olivia Tawara wanted to become a social welfare person. I took her on board. And everyone else we were working with wanted to take the positions that they took. And so, there's nobody who feels shortchanged. There's nobody who feels I had to compromise whatever I initially wanted to become so that I could fit in a particular team.
There's an allegation, sorry, because I have a lot of allegations I want you to confirm.
Yes.
People are saying you were working close with Stone. So, do you think you're any better than Stone?
Stone was the president at that time.
Johnston.
Yes.
The junior guy.
Johnston was the president at that time. And having been the president at that time, there are things that call for working together with him as the president. As it is, even in the country, there are things that call for you to actually work with the head of state, and there are things that you take your stand. Now, previously we worked with them. Now, immediately something came up. Immediately the fiasco came up and everything else. And it was proved beyond reasonable doubt that some people were capable of what they were accused of. And what did I do? I drew back, because those are not the principles I stand for. And it's not Stone alone I've worked with John, I've worked with even the outgoing chairperson in DCF, I've worked with the incoming chairperson in DCF. I've not just worked with the two leaders, but every leader within school. I think there's one or two places where we've met, there's one or two places where we've worked together, not for, again, my benefit, but for the benefit of the students.
Asante sana for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Wewe kama Mkenya, ni jukumu lako la kizalendo kuchagua viongozi katika uchaguzi mkuu ujao tarehe 4 Machi mwaka huu. Siku ya kupiga kura, hakikisha umerauka mapema ili kujitayarisha vilivyo kwa shughuli hii muhimu ya kupiga kura. Hakikisha umevaa nguo zisizo na alama ama nembo yoyote ya chama chochote ama mgombeaji yoyote. Kumbuka kubeba kitambulisho ulichotumia kujisajili. Fika kwa kituo chako kwa wakati unaofaa.
Nitafanya uamuzi wangu. IEBC, your vote, your future.
Welcome back to a final and favorite segment, the Hyperlocal Report. And in this edition, we feature a Daystar student who talks about how national politics has affected institution politics. Take a look.
My name is Charles Mutua. We are here talking about how national politics have affected the institution politics. Students are running in terms of teams, and it has been a challenge as to how students will be accountable to other students. For example, I have the following team that is the incoming DUSA government, which is running as a team. With me, I have several students, and they have their insights on the same.
Okay, I'm Joseph Kisoi from Daystar University, and my take on how national politics have affected politics in institutions is that, for example, in the way that in our national government there are coalitions like Jubilee and NASA, the same way students have copied the same format, and they have come up with coalitions also in students. Like in Daystar University, you have Team Alois and you have Team Maringa that are competing together as coalitions so that they can get or garner more voters to their group. Thank you.
I'm Moses Musembi. I will say the same thing but in a different perspective. Students in school use money. This is seen when outside people who are doing the politics, who are looking for presidency like Jubilee or NASA, are giving money to out people so that they may vote for them. So here in school, the same way, people who want presidents in school like Team Maringa and also Team Alois are distributing money to students so that they may be voted in. Yeah, that is my view.
We believe that we need personal accountability when it comes to institution politics, because people will be accountable on themselves. Thank you.
We have finally come to the end of this edition where we're talking about how national politics has affected institution politics. Make sure to join me on the second episode where we'll be talking about matters business. My quote for this week would be, "Bad leaders are elected by good people who do not want to vote." I have been your host for this show. My name is Fardoos Hussein. Have a blessed week.